All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you for a little bit. We'll see how it go. We'll see if the equipment holds out today. How about that? Oh, hold on. I got to shut some stuff down. I already saved all of that. Hold on. File, save project. Sorry, I should have did this before I went live, but I just noticed it. All right, so that's saved. Quit. DaVinci Resolve. All right. Okay. Quit. Logic Pro. Quit. That's saved, and they're shut down. All right. Says no sound. Why would there be no sound? I'm showing sound. I'm showing that there is sound. Can y'all hear me? Tell me if y'all can hear me. If y'all can hear me. Somebody said there's no sound. So until somebody tells me they can hear me, I'm looking for an issue. Okay, Jerica says we can hear you. All right. So, Lewis, they can hear me. So maybe there's an issue on your side. So, all right. How's everybody doing? How was everyone's week? This week was a strange week for me. I was half sick most of the week, but I feel I'm probably about 92, 93% now. I'm almost 100%. I feel fine. Thank you everybody for the well wishes on that. And I have to say, I hope my man Wyatt feels better. I hope he feels better. But in case if you start feeling a little under the weather, and somebody told me this, a barber. I can't remember his name. He watches the show from time to time, but I can't remember his name. I'll look it up at some point. But if you start feeling a little under the weather, apparently there's something going around. There's something going around. Like I said, mine, it hit me for about 2 days. At no point did I feel like bad. I just didn't feel good. So, Lewis is still saying he can't hear. Lewis, everybody else is saying they can hear me. Try restarting your device or log out because you're on YouTube. Log out and then log back in. I'm doing all of this, and if you can't hear me, then all you see is, and that's not helpful. So, Lewis, I don't know sign language. Lewis, log out and then log back in. He should know what that means, right? He should know what that means. But yeah, it hit me for about 2 days strong. About that third day, I was, back on the come up. So, yeah, just take care of yourselves out there, because, again, when I say 2 days strong, it wasn't even that hard. It didn't hit me hard. For me, it was just body aches and chills, a slight headache, and low energy. That was it. So I hope Wyatt feels better quickly. I hope he feels better quickly. Again, I hope everybody else, I hope you guys had a wonderful week. I had intended on doing like a First Amendment Friday and look at a couple First Amendment clips, couple quick ones, but I didn't get an opportunity to pull them out. Jerica says, did you take a COVID test? I did, and I was negative for COVID, influenza A, and influenza B. I was negative for both, or for all three. So, but yeah, the gentleman that I work for, he said, before you come back to work, because, I didn't go to work on Monday. He said, before you come back to work, if you don't mind, go get a COVID test. Because, he hasn't, his mom lives with him. And so he was like, she's elderly. And he was like, I don't want Granny to get nothing. So if you can, take the day off, go get a COVID test, and then you'll just work in the basement tomorrow and we won't have any contact with you. But go get that COVID test. So that was why I went and got the COVID test. And the lady at the place where I went and got the COVID test, she was a little offended because I didn't have on a mask when I came in. Which I was a little offended initially that she was offended. Because I was like, look, I don't have COVID. I'm getting a COVID test because I don't feel great, but somebody wanted me to get a COVID test. And she was like, but you coming in for a COVID test, which means you don't know that you don't have COVID, so you could wear a mask. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, oh, I guess she's right. And so I was like, I don't have one. Do you have a mask? And she was like, sure, here you go. And I put on a mask, and everything was cool. But I have to admit, initially, I was unreasonably offended that she wanted me to put on a mask because I was getting a COVID test. And again, that's why I said I was unreasonably offended. I was unreasonably offended. I know, when thinking, it took me a minute to process that there's no reason for you to be offended. It's unreasonable for you to be offended. What she's asking is very much reasonable. So, yeah, sometimes, we had to check ourselves. I had to process it and put on the mask and then took the test. And that was that. Also, there is, I think there's a scam. I think there's always scams. But I think a scam came to my house on Monday. On Monday, I was home. I was chilling in the bed, relaxing. Mrs. Livingston was working in her office. And I hear a knock on the door. Now, look, I'm one of these people. Don't come to my house unannounced, because I might not answer. And, I have issues with that. I'll just leave it at that. So I hear knocking on the door, and I hear knocking, like the police knocking. I'm certainly not opening the door for the police. So I get up, and do you hear somebody knocking? Like, what do you mean, do I hear somebody banging on the door? We're upstairs. I was like, somebody's banging on the door. So I go to the door. Let me go check it out. No, you keep working. That's fine. I ain't doing nothing, and I don't feel that bad. So I go downstairs. I open up the door. It's a dude. I'm going to say he looked kind of Polynesian. Like maybe Filipino and white. Like a mixture of the two. He had a little bit of, Asian in him somewhere. Open up the door, and he's like, yeah, we got called here for an emergency call. Something's going on with your electricity. Who called you? And he's like, well, no, I got called here. There's an emergency call. Something's going on with your electricity. Lights is on. Ain't nothing smoking. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. What are you asking? Well, we need to come in and check and make sure everything is going good with your electricity. Wait, who are you? And he's got on, it was like a light blue shirt. I want to say it said Insynergy or Ice Energy or something like that. ISO Energy. I don't remember exactly what it was. And he's got on a badge with the same thing. And he holds up the badge. See? I'm like, nigga, anybody can make a badge. You know what I'm saying? I could go right now, embroider a shirt, and make a badge. That don't mean nothing. So then he shows me he's got an iPad. That's all he got is a badge, blue shirt, and an iPad. And so he shows me the iPad, and it's got my address on it and a button that says emergency. I'm like, that I could create a page that looks like that. You give me 5 minutes. I can just hop on, what is my little site here? Oh, what is this site that I use? Oh, it's not all that important, but Canva. I could hop on Canva and create that. And he's like, what, you don't trust me? See? I'm like, what are you asking me for? Yeah, we need to get in because it was an emergency call. Who called? I just report to the emergency. I just go where they tell me to go. Well, who told you to come here? I just got an emergency call. I just need to come in and check and see if everything is okay. I said, what part of you genuinely believes I'm going to let you in my house? Well, I mean, I got a call, but I guess if you're not going to let me in, then let me just verify some information. Whose name is on the account? Wait. You got an emergency call to come here? You don't even know whose name is on the account? I said, I kind of have an idea of a scam when I'm in the middle of one. There's nothing that can happen in this world that's going to let you in this house. That's off the table. There is no part of me that feels compelled to share any information with you. Hey, but I said, is there anything else? Well, no, have a good day. And he walked away. Now, Mrs. Livingston was mad at me. Why didn't you take a picture of him? Why didn't you get the information? Why didn't you get his badge number? Why didn't you this and why didn't you that? And I'm like, I'm not all that concerned about all of that stuff. I knew he wasn't coming in. I knew I wasn't giving him no information. So yeah, she was a little bothered with me because she wanted to put the information out so everybody would know. I'm like, I didn't go downstairs expecting a scam. I just opened up the door. Don't be mad at me. I'm not scamming nobody. Why am I in trouble? I'm not scamming anybody. I just saved you. I saved you from potentially a life of being kidnapped and trafficked. And I'm in trouble. I shouldn't be the one in trouble here. I have nothing to answer for. But just so y'all know, everybody don't get to come in your house. What was he going to, I mean, when you really think about it, like, he didn't have no tool belt, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Even one of them things where you test the, a multimeter or nothing. There was nothing that he could do but come in and say, oh, the lights is on. All right, I think you're fine, And I think maybe because it was, what was that, like the day or whatever after that windstorm? So maybe he thought he could get that off. But, yeah, just ladies in particular, don't let people in your house. Don't let people in your house. Even if they show up and they got on, is it still Duke? And they got on Duke Energy gear, a Duke Energy hat, and all the tools in the world. If you haven't made an appointment, don't let them in your house. Call Duke Energy and say it's somebody at my door claiming that they here for y'all. Call the police. Say it's somebody. I don't have an appointment with Duke Energy, and it's a person at my door trying to get in, saying that they want to check my electricity, but I don't have an appointment with Duke Energy. Jerica says, what would have been the scam, though? There's a number of scams that it could have been. Yeah, he could have been coming in to case the house. Oh, let me look around and see what they got. And when they not here, we'll break in later. He could have been, just coming in to do some bad stuff to me. Or not knowing I was there and coming in to do some bad stuff to Mrs. Livingston. He could have been just trying to get information. You don't give everybody your information. Just because you got an address, I need information. What's your name? Who's on the account? Well, what's the account number? How do you pay? I don't know what he wanted to ask. But giving information, your personal information to people, that's not necessarily a good idea. And I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think, Jerica, I could call, I'm going to say Duke Energy. I don't know if you have Duke Energy. I don't think I could call Duke Energy just because I got your address and say, hey, I want you to turn my electricity off, or hey, I want to do this, or I want to do that. But I think if I got enough information from you, I might be able to convince Duke Energy that I represent you in some way, shape, or form and get information from them about you. Like maybe billing information. Possibly. Possibly. I might be able to get billing information. And then, now what? I got your credit card number or your bank number or whatever. I'm just saying I don't know what the scam was. But I am 99.7% sure that guy wasn't here to check my electricity. I'm pretty sure nobody called him and sent him to my address and said it's an emergency and you got to get in there and check on the electricity. I'm not even sure what that means. So, that's all I'm saying. Just be aware that scams are going around. Not just that scam, but that scams are going around. And there's nothing wrong with being skeptical. Nothing wrong with being skeptical. Your life might depend on it. So just be aware of that. And, Mrs. Livingston, I think she's still a little upset with me. She want to know this dude's, she want to see his picture. I gave her the best description of him that I could. He looked Polynesian and white. He had, black or dark brown hair. Black or dark brown eyes. I doubt they were black. He was probably, I don't know, 5'9", 5'10". Just a regular built guy. I mean, yeah, he might have been like maybe 10 pounds overweight. You know what I'm saying? Just a regular guy. That's the best I can do. It's the best I can do. So if you run up on him, then you know what's up. That's all I got. That's all I got. But you never know what people are what scam people are attempting to run. Also, I didn't do hellos. Hold on, let me go through. I'll do them quickly. Erica Hummins, representing Reading, good afternoon. Lewis Talbert in the house from Sharonville, good afternoon. Maria Smith, representing North College Hill, good afternoon. Got Dwayne Larkin, representing Mount Airy in the house, good afternoon. Mike Ballard Sr. from Woodlawn, good afternoon. Shirley Ellis Howell, representing Westchester. That's my cousin, by the way. Good afternoon. Daryl Carpenter, representing Forest Park, good afternoon. Lewis Talbert, good afternoon. LaDonna Howard, representing Price Hill, East Price Hill, to be specific, good afternoon. Stephanie Hyde, good afternoon. He didn't talk about Kwame Kilpatrick because y'all kept sweating him. I told you, stop sweating that man. Jerika Van Hola, good afternoon. Olympia Daskin, good afternoon. Let me see. I think I said hello to Crystal Hoskins, representing the Christ Hospital. Good afternoon. Andrea Bustle, representing Gulf Manor. Good afternoon. Miss Pittsburgh, good afternoon. Robert Willis, man, you late today. Good afternoon. Blade, good afternoon. He says, stop cry. Danm. D-A-N-M. Stop cry. Danm. All right. I don't know exactly what that means, but maybe one day I'll try it. Pat Rogers, good afternoon. Jack, good afternoon. Jack. Jack wants to know, It's offensive. They claim these expired COVID tests are still good. And why is the new vaccine still called 19? Well, I mean, they call it COVID-19 because I guess that's when the whatever, the virus or whatever was, I want to say observed. I can't think of the word. The word I'm thinking is not observed, but that's when they found out about the virus. So they named it for the year that they figured it out. Let's see. Al Johnson representing Middletown. Good afternoon. Vernon Jordan. Good afternoon. He says that was me. You should have let me in. Pat Rogers. Man, if you don't get away from my door, yeah. He was shocked that I wasn't like nice to him and what's the word? Amenable or whatever. Like, sure, come on in. Look around, you know. He was shocked. So I don't know if this is just a thing that he do and he's used to people giving in. But yeah. Regina Denson Griffin representing Madisonville. Good afternoon. Pamela Kenny representing North Avondale. Good afternoon. That's those people trying to get you away from Duke. And quite possibly, so they wanted information about the account so that then they could just send mailings to the house. They already got the address. Right? But, you know, I don't know. Maybe they were going to do some sneaky underhanded stuff and whatever. I don't know exactly how any of that stuff worked. I just know I wasn't giving him no information. Jeannie Mulholland. Good afternoon and happy Friday to you too. She says no notification. I don't know what to do about that. Let's see. Nat Turner. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Jerica. No, it was not twin. We got Brennan in the house representing Dallas, Texas. Shelly was waiting in the getaway car. Shelly fooled twin. How gullible twin? Y'all know twins is my man. Eugene's, we all right. Me and Eugene's is all right. But how do you get fooled by Shelly? Like Shelly really had him thinking that her point was black people should really stick together and stand strong with black people. Who gets outsmarted by Shelly? Let me see. Miss Pittsburgh said, I'm listening to you, whatever you said. I just passed the message along to my daughter. She stay in Evanston. All right, good. I don't want to see nobody get scammed. What would have been the scam, though, to get money? Maybe. They don't have to come into your house to check the electric meter. Right. That's why I know. What did you, I mean, for real, y'all, for real, he said he got an emergency call and he had to come in to check and make sure everything was all right. You're not the police. You ain't doing no wellness check on us. Like you said, you don't have to come in to see the meter. I think if it was sparks flying and shit, I would notice that. So what are you coming in to check? But I could imagine somebody might fall for that at some time. Economy is doing good and employment jobs 254,000. I was going to talk about that just a little bit. Vernon says he wanted to Diddy you. I wasn't going to talk about that. But there's another Diddy story. And I always have my questions for y'all. Y'all never call me and answer the question. But I have questions that I want to ask you guys about certain things. Let's see. I think I said afternoon to everyone so far. Ben representing Mason. Good afternoon. I think that's everybody. I said, God. Jason representing Westchester. Good afternoon. I think that's it. Ron, good afternoon. Ron and Brenda representing Fairfield. All right, so that's good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to everyone. Again, I hope I don't experience any technical difficulties today. I didn't really get a chance to... all right, no, I think I can fairly say I didn't get a chance to go through and thoroughly check my little system here. It's just a computer. But I didn't get a chance to go through and do anything because I had a video that I had to edit and I had to get it out, and I didn't finish editing. Well, that's not true. I finished editing the video yesterday, but then it didn't finish rendering out until about 2 o'clock in the morning. And so then I had to come down, upload that video to a couple of different sites, and then I went to bed. I wasn't going to be down here because by the time I finished doing that, it was about almost 2:45. And I wasn't going to be sitting down here from 2:45 to like 6 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out whatever the problem was. So I'll get to it this weekend. But I hope everything works well and we don't have any more kind of buzzy type of episodes. Okay? Let's see. I wanted to talk about a couple of things. I guess I'll start with, one thing that I think everybody's kind of tired of talking about. They're saying that there are more allegations against Diddy coming out. And one of the things that they're talking about is one of his victims was just 9 years old. The child had been introduced to Combs in hopes of getting the minor a recording contract. It says the child was taken to an audition in New York City at Bad Boy Records. This individual was sexually abused by Sean Combs and other people at the studio in the promise to both his parents and the boy of getting a record deal. Another minor was allegedly told Combs would make him a star, but he needed to visit Combs privately without his parents. Combs allegedly made the victim perform oral sex. Yet another minor was 15 years old, allegedly flown to New York City to attend a party with drugs and then taken into a private room in the presence of Combs where this female minor was sexually assaulted by a group of people. My question, first, all of that is horrible. If all of that is true, the guy's, I don't even want to say a monster because a monster seems like some fictitious thing. That's horrible. It's horrible. And I don't even know what to call it. And so, yes, he's wrong. He's wrong if he did those things. Do you think those parents deserve to be punished? At this point, and when I say at this point, I mean not in 2024, but at the very least, since the year 2000, really even before then. Hold on, let me turn off these notifications. Even before then, who didn't know that you don't take your minor children and let them live with grown men on the promise that they're going to get a record contract and possibly be rich and famous one day? Who didn't know this? This was really one of the same problems that I had with some of the R. Kelly accusers' parents. Well, she really wanted to sing, and so he said we had to send her to the hotel room, and we wasn't allowed to be there. And I just wanted her to get a record deal because she really wanted to sing. How was I supposed to know that they was having sex? Because you weren't supposed to do that. You're responsible for protecting your child. What stopped you from protecting your child? In all of these cases, what stopped you from protecting your child? The promise of fame and wealth. In essence, you sold your child. Not even on like real money. You sold them on a promise of potential money. If you give me your child, I might give you $1 million. Who says yes to that? Because that's what I hear when I hear that. you, my 9-year-old, is going to come and live with you. And you might give him a record deal. Like, that's not even a full, I promise you a record deal if you give me your child. I don't even think people sell their souls on a mic. I'm saying that like selling your soul is less than, but I don't even, you know what I'm saying? The devil came to me and was like, Emanuel, I want your soul. I'm like, you want my soul? Like, yeah, I want your soul. Well, what you offering? I might give you a record deal. Wait. What are you offering? A potential record deal. Wait a minute. Hold on. So you want me to sign over my soul and I get a probable promissory note? What? Oh, hold on a second. Yeah?
Never mind. Is you on your show?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Whoops.
Who need me?
No. I was, I'll just talk to you after the show.
Okay.
Thank you.
But what's on the table is a potential promissory note. It's not even a promise. You selling your child for not even a full promise. If you ask me, those parents should be in jail. They should be right alongside Diddy or right alongside R. Kelly. They should be in jail. That's just the way it... That's just the way I see it. E-Man loves his wife. He's still blushing. First, I don't even know what blushing is. Second, yeah, I love my wife. What's shocking about that? I wouldn't have married her ass if I didn't love her. But I want to see some parents charged. I want to see Diddy get in trouble. If he did these things, I want him to have to answer for this. But I want to see some parents get charged. Jerica said, you know what blushing is? Stop being an actor. Hold on. Somebody just called me an actor. Twin, are you going to call in and cuss the world out? Are you going to protect me? Are you going to defend me? Somebody said Wyatt was an actor and you was ready to fight the world. Are you going to come and defend me? Eugene's, they call me an actor, bro. They call me an actor. Yeah, no, I want to see some parents charged. I really do. And I'm going to start making that. I want us to make that the charge. I want us to call that. I want us to say that. I want us to push for that. I want us to push for that. There's a few duties that you take on when you decide, because I don't care if it was an unplanned pregnancy and all that kind of stuff. I would argue most pregnancies aren't planned in that way, but I say you made a decision when you had sexual contact. You knew that it was a possibility, and if that's not what you're thinking about, that's on you. But once you become a parent, one of your main duties one of your main duties is protection. Yeah, you're supposed to love them. Yeah, you're supposed to feed them. You're supposed to, but protection, it's up there in the top 3. That's your job. I don't stop when you're not a baby no more. No, hold his head. No, that's cool. That's protection, all that kind of stuff. Don't hit him. No, you can't do this. Oh, they lay him on his back. Yeah, all of that. That's protection. That's your job. He's a little baby. But when he get or she get a little older, you still responsible for protecting them and handing your child to some adult for the potential promise of money. You're not protecting them. You're not protecting them. And if you don't protect your child, well, what do we do if somebody just don't feed their kid? Well, okay, what should we do? If somebody just don't feed their kid, you charge them. That's neglect. You neglected that child. If they don't, get them an education, all that kind of stuff, you charge them. Hold on. This child is 10 years old, ain't never been to school. Oh, you getting charged. That's neglect. Why are we not charging people who do things like this to children? Who put children in harm's way? So that's it for that. That's it for that. I want to know what y'all think. 513-717-KING. That's 513-717-5464. I'd love to know what you think. Hold on, there was another story that I had. I thought I had it pulled up. I thought I had the story pulled up. It was, I don't have the numbers. Jobs report came out. Jobs report apparently was good. I don't have the numbers because I don't know what I did with the story. 254,000 jobs in September, blowing away the 150,000 that economists had expected. So that means through Joe Biden's presidency, what they've created. Hold on, let me pause. Just for the record, Joe Biden didn't create a 16 million jobs, okay? Because that's the number I'm about to give you. Joe Biden administration didn't create 254,000 jobs. It's just kind of the way things go. It's the way things go. But it's something that people look at and give people credit for or blame for. But if I decide tomorrow to expand, so I hire 5 people, that really got nothing to do with, Joe Biden's policies are so great and people are buying shirts and I just had to expand and thank you, Joe Biden. And then if 6 months later, I'm like, ooh, the money ain't coming in like I thought it was going to come in, I got the fire for y'all. So now the economy loses those 4 jobs. Like, damn, Joe Biden. Why did you do this to me? No, I don't. And so, giving credit for jobs created or blame for jobs lost and all of that kind of stuff, I don't 100% buy into it. I understand that there is some tie-in and a little bit in terms of economic policies and whatnot, but I think it's minimal. It's minimal. People decide, if I decided to expand, Ron.
What's good?
Hey, can I finish this thought real quick and then I'll come right to you?
Yeah.
All right. If I decided to expand, let me buy another couple of presses and, some more darkroom equipment and hire a few people, a bigger dryer. I'm not thinking about, oh, I think Trump gonna get elected, or oh, I think Kamala gonna get elected, and their policies are gonna be such that. No, I'm probably just thinking I could probably make some more money if I increase my capacity. And you know what I'm saying? I see where I believe, you know, the way that things are going and more people are going to buy my shirts. Or, man, I've been selling shirts a lot more than I thought and I'm getting behind and I could probably double my, you know what I'm saying? But I'm probably not thinking politically and it's not even necessarily based on their policies. And I know the argument could be made that, well, but maybe people buying more shirts because they got more money in their pocket. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think that's the case. Well, if gas was cheaper, then they would have more money to buy shirts. Like, no, I don't think that's the case. So I don't 100% buy into these jobs numbers and unemployment numbers and all that kind of stuff as some sort of a big time commentary on the success or failure of an administration. Just for the record. But 16 million jobs created by the Biden administration at the same time. Costs rose by nearly 20%. So you weigh one over, the costs are up, but jobs are up. So it is however you decide to spend those numbers. And that's what we're going to hear for the next month. That's what we're going to hear. Ron.
Like I said, what's good?
Hey, what's up?
Now, so a racist. So what would you deem a racist primary objective is?
Hold on. What are you saying? What's the word you're saying?
A racist. A racist.
Spell it.
A racist. A white supremacist. A
racist. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were saying RAC or RAP. That's why I was confused.
Okay. You know what a rapist's primary objective is?
Not necessarily. Because people would say that the primary objective of a rapist is not what you might think it is. It's not sex. It's power.
It's power, but that ultimately, okay, we don't have to get down there.
But a racist's primary objective, I guess, is to kind of elevate their race.
By?
Any means.
Well, when you have the means to destroy somebody like P. Diddy, you know, would a racist do that?
Possibly.
Okay, of course they would. What's a trip is, and people, you know, they spitting about it a little bit, but I think they said they had over 100 profiles, 100 people under that they were going to try to indict under what Diddy's profile and his indictment is under. And I know I'm not saying it the right way, but over 100 people have been implicated.
Okay.
Some of them, you know, like you said, you know, some people were having group sex with what did you say, a 9-year-old?
Well, no, I think that was one just was another minor.
Yeah.
No, that one was a 15-year-old female. 15-year-old female.
You know, but basically it was over 100 people that participated in these quote unquote freak offs and all that other little stuff, and that they were looking to indict. Now, the thing about it is, depending upon who that is, because now P. Diddy ran off. You know, I posted a post on my Facebook page of him running off people who he had on videotape. And, you know, he was naming Oprah and J-Rod, Beyonce, and everybody.
Wait, did you say J-Rod?
No, J-Rod the shit, J Lo's ex-husband.
A-Rod.
What's his name?
A-Rod.
I always A-Rod.
Oh, no,
So,
A-Rod wasn't her ex-husband. Who was her ex? It don't
was it?
matter. But that's, okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, her and all those other little people, man. But what the thing about it is, man, can you imagine the black wealth that is getting ready to leave the community and the black eye that the black community and these entertainers, the black entertainers, and of course there were, of course it was some white folk in there, of course. Can you imagine the repercussions of the situation of this, the hit to the black wealth in the country, and then depending upon, I mean, he said he had dates of Oprah. I mean, can you imagine that?
Wait, but just hold on, just so I'm clear. I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. I'm saying I don't recall even reading a story where Sean Combs has verbally said, I got a video of Oprah in one of my freak offs or nothing like that.
No, I mean, first of all, they not gonna say no shit like that on TV. They not right now, especially when it's a possibility that he has Oprah on tape. Hell no. It's just like Jeffrey Epstein.
But you just
you know what happened to the people that was on his list. Shit, the list ain't even ever came out.
Right. So,
I said P. Diddy did a post. He did a post.
Hold on. Wait. Stop. Hold on. Wait. Stop. Because I'm confused, and I don't want to just have to go through it 3 times confused. So You're saying that Sean Combs,
yes,
posted himself. He posted somewhere that he had a video of Oprah Winfrey, among others, in having sexual relations in some freaky nature in his possession.
He implied it. He didn't say flat out, but he implied it with what he was doing.
Well, what did he say?
He implied, no, he didn't say anything. He had a little girl on his lap. I don't know if it was his daughter, granddaughter, whatever. And then he read off the names of the list, the names that he wanted to name off, and then he had her repeat the names: J Lo, A-Rod, Gabrielle Union, what Gabrielle Union's husband name? Dwayne Wade, Oprah Winfrey, Janelle Monáe. I mean, he named off a whole bunch. He implied it. He just implied it.
Now, but again, because someone is saying, and this is with hold on, let me get this out. Someone is saying that he rambled off a list of people that he had invited to parties. Not that they attended, or not that he had videos of them, but they said that what you're referring to was a list of people.
He didn't say anything. I just told you what he said. He had the little girl name off people that I guess he, excuse me. Of course, it would have been they were invited to the party, but why would he have this little girl name them off, and then they're talking about they have over 100 people that they wanted to indict pending further investigation, and the people that they were investigating were all big stars.
Right, but this becomes the danger, Ron,
Okay. Listen. I can't go in a person's mind. I can't do all of no other little shit. I'm just saying, just fucking saying, for all you smart ass people out there, I'm just saying, if there's any truth to the rumors that are being implied, can you imagine what the hit will be to generate, black wealth in the United States? Because some of these people are big people, and can you imagine the black eye that black folk will be getting? Well, if y'all already say, the people, the way we portrayed on TV is such and such and such and such, what the fuck you think it's gonna be when all of that shit come out?
It's gonna be the same.
No, it ain't gonna be the same as what somebody acting on TV, rather than somebody in a freak, Oprah Winfrey in a freak off. I'm not saying that she was, but I'm saying
it's gonna be the same.
It's not. It ain't gonna be the same.
Yeah, God, it's gonna be the same.
Nigga. Okay, nigga. I mean, what's gonna be the same about it? It ain't gonna be no different. It ain't gonna be no difference between Oprah raping a child than anybody else.
I'm saying that's not gonna affect the black people and the way we're portrayed in the media. That's not gonna change that.
I said, okay. It will give us a big ass black eye.
No, it would give her a big ass black eye.
No, it'll give. Now, like I said, you will be absurd if you trying to say that as many people trusted Oprah, especially as many white folk has trusted Oprah. You can't say that their trust, they will not feel like their trust was betrayed. And you cannot, and it's a truth. It's like, if we found out that that Obama worked to do anything to make sure that he did something to affect the black people negatively. If we found something like that out, it would be a black eye
to Obama.
I'm sorry?
It would be a black eye to Obama. It wouldn't be a black eye to me. If I found out that Obama was at the freak-offs, I wouldn't be like, oh, black people, y'all horrible. I would be like, Obama is horrible.
No, yeah, but I'm saying, what I'm saying is, people, black folk will forgive. They, just like we forgive R. Kelly. But we already, white folk already look at us with a side eye.
And that's not going to change.
Okay. They already look at us with a side eye. But can you imagine how they would look? And I mean, it's not that I'm worried about how white folk look at us.
Kind of sounds
because because I mean, we're going to get over there anyway. But it's just a fact. And I mean, I'm saying, a black eye, but I can't find the words that I really, really want to say.
No, you're saying it right. I just disagree with you.
It'll be horrible, man.
I don't think it'll be horrible for black people. It'll be horrible for those individuals. But I don't think that this stuff reflects on black people. I guess that's where we differ. But I think a
lot of people do, and a lot, and black and white, because I mean, I can't, you know, how I can't tell you how many times I done heard. I don't trust that nigga. I don't trust that nigga. I don't trust that nigga.
And
But see, no. I mean, you know, it's just a thing, man. You know, we already divided, and
what?
people, no, we already divided as black folk. We already divided. We already divided as black folk and the country. But if you take and you know, some people you don't like LeBron. Some people idolize LeBron.
Right.
They idolize LeBron.
There are men who want to have his baby.
You know, hey man, some people idolize that LeBron James,
Yes.
and they idolize
Yes.
Oprah Winfrey and all them people. They idolize them. You couldn't convince nobody that Oprah was in. Some people that Oprah was in a freak off. Are you kidding me? It's just like Beyonce. No, I mean, but man, that's just gonna further divide the black community. Man, we just gonna be. We can't trust nobody. We can't trust nobody, and that's the epitome of the black eye that I'm talking about. I mean,
I understand what you're saying. I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, but well, we'll see. We'll see. I just think it's gonna be all bad if some of these people that, you know, I mean, if Denzel Washington is being indicted, some people gonna be a little bit heartbroken.
Well, let me say this, Ron, because again, I understand what you're saying. I just don't agree that, and I'm gonna just throw out some of the names that you threw out. I don't believe that Oprah, Obama, Denzel, or any of those people represent black people. They represent themselves. Their bad actions reflect negatively on themselves. Now, while I acknowledge that there are people who try to make them represent us, in particular when they do bad things, I reject those people's opinions. And I don't function under the premise that anything a celebrity does represents how black people act. So if you it's like the white person, this fictitious white person. It actually does happen. I've actually seen and heard it myself. But it's like this fictitious white person who says we don't hire black people because we hired a black person once and they didn't work out. And then you'd be like, well, that black person messed it up for all of us. No, they're racist. So probably the reason why that black person didn't work out is because there were unrealistic expectations set, and there was hostility in the workplace. So they created the scenario for the black person to not work out so they could say they don't hire black people anymore because that one didn't work out. And that doesn't justify not hiring any more black people because you hired one once and it didn't work out. And that's kind of the mindset that I hear you saying, is that white people gonna look at it and say, I trusted Oprah, and since Oprah let me down, now I can't trust black people no more. But that person probably don't trust
Obama
black people anyway.
Well?
Say that again.
Did Obama represent us well?
Obama didn't represent us. He represented himself well.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I mean, you can ultimately say that, but everybody was looking at what Barack Obama would do as a black president.
But see,
and although he did, I don't think he did enough for us. I think he represented himself well.
Right.
And so, and a lot of people think he represented himself well.
I
And
agree.
if he went in there and he did not, they would say, that was just not, uh, they didn't, he didn't represent them well. He didn't represent them well. And people would say, that was just not a good representation of us.
But Ron,
And, and
but
people
Ron,
people do that all the time. And,
they
I've
do.
heard people
I've
say
heard
that.
people do it, yes. But Ron,
Yeah.
and to me, that's the issue. Hold on, because if it worked both ways, I might be a little more open to it, right? So if you
What,
said,
I
so
mean,
if
how does it not work both ways?
because, for example, I'm gonna go back to my "I hired a black person once" analogy, right? So if the white person says, "I hired a black person and it worked out so well," then now all I hire is black people. You never hear that. So that's what I'm saying. If it worked in reverse, like, oh, a black
I
person
mean,
did well, so now they're all great. Then
well,
a black person did bad, so now they're all bad. It don't work and because it don't work both ways, there's already a built-in bias when you're judging an entire group of people based on one or a
but
few representatives.
refuse to accept that it doesn't work both ways. It doesn't work both ways all the time. It doesn't work both ways all the time.
I don't think it worked both ways. So you really believe that since Barack Obama was, by a lot of, since, as you say, he represented himself well as the president, so now you hear white people say, oh, we need another black president. No, that's what I'm saying. It don't work both ways. Had he just been like, oh, he's terrible. He got 3 baby mamas and he buried one of them on a golf course. They'd be like, we don't ever need another black
we
president.
need another black president. Who said some shit like that?
No, that's the point. Nobody says anything like that. But if he would have, no, what I'm telling you, it's not overboard. What I'm telling you is if he would have messed up, those same people would be saying, oh, no, we don't need another black president. Look at what Barack Obama did.
Well,
But
that's exactly what I was saying about the implications of those stars, 120 of them, over 120 of them, being implicated in it. So I mean that's all I was saying. And those numbers, you forget that they had to backtrack on the last numbers that they put out and had to go back and deduct 820,000 of them. And so we won't get stuck on that. Damn, what the fuck? Damn, I was gonna say something else to you. Made me drop my stuff. I was gonna say something else to you. Damn. Give me just a second.
All
and
right.
I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna oh shit. And you mentioned it. Damn. I can't figure it. I can't remember.
Okay.
Made me drop my blunt. I gotta go.
All right, Ron.
Bye.
Ron, take it easy. All right. That's Ron. Yeah, now if even if 100 black people get charged, I don't think that affects black people. What's happening with Diddy, in my opinion, is not a black people issue. It's a Diddy issue. It's not a rich people issue. It's not even a powerful people issue. It's a Diddy issue. And it reflects bad on him. It reflects bad on people who worked with him and in concert with him. Not necessarily in concert, but you know what I'm saying. Worked, teamed up, and all of that kind of stuff. Those are the people who it affects. Be they black or white. Be they black or white. I understand what Ron is saying. I do. I understand what he's saying. We sometimes, some of us, exalt people and hold them up as examples, and we get into hero worship and all that kind of stuff, and somehow some of us accept that person represents us. I'm just not one of those people. I understand that your actions, some people do take that as a reflection of who we are, but those people are wrong. Just because they're wrong don't mean they don't do it. And so you do have to kind of watch. Like I said, I believe that I didn't see a single picture the entire time Barack Obama was the president. I didn't see a single picture of him eating no fried chicken or no watermelon. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I didn't see it. Barack Obama eat fried chicken and watermelon. It happens. It happens. Who don't eat fried chicken? White people eat. He ain't no vegan. You know what I'm saying? If he was a vegan or something like that, then, you'd be like, nah, he ain't no vegan. Barack Obama eat fried chicken. But the whole time he was president, I never saw that man eat fried chicken. I don't think that was an accident. I think he understood, like, there are certain racial stereotypes that I'm not going to let them, play me on. And so they ain't going to never see me with no fried chicken. They ain't going to never see me with no watermelon. He had some Secret Service person smuggle the watermelon in the back. Take it up to the residence. Close all the blinds. Close those blinds over there. Turn off the lights. Get a flashlight. Michelle, I'm gonna cut the watermelon. And then he cut the watermelon. They ate the watermelon in the dark. Okay, turn the lights back on. Open up the blinds. They had some fake, what's them things? Some avocados laying around. They cut up so people thought they were eating avocados instead. They were very much aware of those stereotypes. They were not going to fall into it. They knew what was going on. They knew. But I still don't, I don't subscribe to that train of thought. I don't, now, what the hell? Now, would I have eaten watermelon in public? Jetta says, I'm sure that wasn't his reason for not eating chicken and watermelon in public. Look, there is no part of me that believes that, Janice. No part of me. I believe that was for real. That was a thing. I don't want to, Michelle didn't specifically call out watermelon, but Michelle, I believe I saw her in an interview even say we were very keenly aware of the fact that we were being watched. There were certain hairstyles that she would not wear. I think didn't she say at one point she would not wear like cornrows or something like that? Because they were very keenly aware of their actions and how they would be interpreted being the first black president and the first black first lady. So, yeah, I believe that was probably the reason why. Let me see if I can... It's got to be a way that I can Hold on, it's got to be a way. This is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Um, hold on. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. I'm getting there. Hold on. No, it is not. Well, some might consider it that. But this is what Michelle, could you imagine this? Nobody else was even close. Oh, they could not have that be the image. They could not. They could not have that be the image. They just couldn't do it. Instead of Easter egg roll, we're going to have a watermelon eating contest at the Rose Garden. No way. No way. Wasn't going to happen. I respect that. I respect that. Yes, exactly, LaDonna. It looked horrible. And they, Barack and Michelle, were keenly aware of images like that. And look, Mary, I know. And who don't like chicken? Who don't like watermelon? But they just knew, because there are these silly racial stereotypes. And they wasn't going to fall for it. Brent.
Ain't no way in the world the Obamas were going to get caught eating chicken and watermelon.
No way. Right.
No way. I don't even eat watermelon in mixed company because I just don't. No. Won't do it. Refuse to do it. Another thing that wasn't happening in the Obama White House, Obama wasn't playing bones on the Resolute desk. He wouldn't say 25 or 20. He was not saying that at the Resolute desk. They were not playing spades and bid whiz with any of this. Well, because the mama played, Michelle's mama. She played spades and bid whiz.
Oh yeah.
That happened.
They made a big deal about him playing basketball.
Yeah. What else wasn't he doing? He wasn't. Wasn't no double dutch gonna be out there on the East Lawn.
Which is a shame. Gonna happen. Which is a shame.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Obama wasn't gonna be at the grill, at the smoker with some ribs, flip them over, and with a half a hog and a brisket. That wasn't gonna happen. Certainly, he wasn't gonna pull out a red cup with some grape Kool-Aid in it. Wasn't gonna happen.
Ron says they represented us well. They represented themselves well, but they were aware of these racial stereotypes that they were not going to allow other people to judge them on.
Yeah, and that video of the black lady eating that watermelon, all of the ancestors. Where was Dr. Umar Johnson? Because I bet he would give her 10,000 lashes for putting herself on display like that, and even giving her 2 children. I'm assuming they're her 2 children, big old hunks of watermelon too, and they looking like, Mama, please, stop, Mama, please.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a watermelon eater myself. I mean, every once in a while I might have a little piece of watermelon, but if I'm in a watermelon eating contest and I look over at somebody doing that, I quit. You win. I quit.
Yeah.
You just hold it, and then it's gone. I done took 2 bites. I quit. Give her the prize. She win.
Look, some people just want it more. I don't want it that bad. I don't want to be the watermelon eating champion 2024. No. Oh my goodness. That's just sad. But I'm glad to see that Ron has come back home, because he is so concerned with the image of Black people and how we look to white people, because he does care about that. But it's interesting that the names of the people that he mentioned are all huge Kamala Harris supporters. You know, he didn't wonder about, about maybe a Byron Donalds being at one of P. Diddy's freak-offs, or cousin Tim Scott. Well, no, cousin Tim. Well, no, I bet there were some white folks there too. So a cousin Tim Scott, he was probably there with a snow bunny or
he wasn't there with no snow bunny.
Fella.
Yeah, he wasn't there with no snow bunny.
A snow fella, snow puppy. There we go. That's what the name is that Dr. Umar uses. So he could have been in one of them rooms that Cat Williams looked into. Was like, is that 2 dudes kissing?
Right. Is that Professor Ogilvy and Tim Scott? Yeah.
Oh man.
And of course, who's the lieutenant governor where is he at? The Black Nazi?
The lieutenant, you're talking about Mark Robinson in North Carolina.
Thank you, Mark Robinson. I don't know why I couldn't think of. Yes, I wouldn't. Now nobody would be surprised at this point. None of us would be surprised if he had shown up.
Yeah. Now what happened to Cameron, the Black dude in Kentucky?
He lost and he disappeared.
Because you figured he would be one of those Black surrogates going all the way around the country. Because he had to marry, didn't he marry Mitch McConnell's relative, or maybe not one of his relatives, but somebody that Mitch McConnell knew, because he was an aide to Mitch McConnell, and he groomed him, not to get a line up and edge up and everything, and to keep that baby fro, and to cut off all his facial hair so he didn't scare white people too much. So
I don't know nothing about who he married. But it does seem like sometimes when you're no longer useful to them, they may not have much use for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and why is it that all of the Black, at least the representatives that are Republican, why is it that they are in predominantly white districts? They know they rhetoric ain't gonna fly in the hood.
Right. Right.
So, but they are there to talk down about Black people. So Ron, I'm sure he's gonna get a scolding afterwards, saying, "No, you cannot sympathize with your own people. You do it again, and you're out of there. No super PAC money for you.
Yeah.
No white woman for you." Not even Shelley.
I still can't believe Shelley outsmarted Twin.
Well, he did believe in the September 25th prophecy.
She didn't even know who Frankie Beverly. I said Frankie Beverly amazing. She said a what? Don't worry about it. Just forget it.
Yeah. And Twin did believe that a prophecy is Antonio or whoever told him, if somebody argues with you, you don't argue back with them. That ain't no prophecy. That's just good sound advice.
That's what it sounded like to me, but he said it was a prophecy. Just like the prophet knew that he had like a whole bottle of wine in his pocket.
Oh man, but yeah, that's all I had. You said you had some questions for us.
That
So before I get off, you got any questions for me?
Well, my question was, should those parents of those minors, if it's true and they were sexually assaulted as minors, should those parents be charged, arrested, put in jail,
Yes.
and
Yes.
like they should be sitting in jail awaiting a trial date with no bond, like Diddy?
Yes, even those white parents that send their kids over to Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch, or whatever it was called, in the hopes that he might touch them, they need to be arrested too, because they wind up scarring their own children, all to try to make even they never called that a ghetto come up with what them white folks did, because that's exactly what they did.
Yep.
It's like, you going over there and you get in bed with Michael and you say you have to use the bathroom and say that, Michael, can you come in and use the bathroom with us? Yeah, no, that's sad.
Yeah.
That is sad that you would pimp out your children. That's just as bad as you literally pimping out your children.
I agree.
And all for the hopes of a record deal, for a little fame that don't last. That any contract they would have had would have been horrible, because those first contracts are always horrible. So it'd have been for nothing. Just so you got your name out there and like, oh yeah, you famous, but you ain't rich. You broke.
Yep.
But that's all.
Well, home, before you go, just to let you know, in case you hadn't heard, Bobby Lashley is signed. He is now All Elite.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, there's a pay-per-view no, that's the WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah.
When is the next AEW? Because you got to debut him at a pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he will probably debut them. That's good.
They say he's been signed for a few weeks, and they just kept it under wraps. So.
Oh yeah. So which one of the AEW originals are they going to have as a part of this new? We'll call it the Hurt Business until they come up with a name for it.
I don't know. But they have to have one of them in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, did you hear about what what was it called? What is the name? Matt Caster and the gay dude. They're the tag team. They wear the pink, and they're with Billy Gunn. I can't even think of their name.
Oh,
but he comes
I know
out
who
and
you're
raps
talking
like
about.
John Cena.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. But no, I hadn't heard anything about him.
Yeah, they did an interview with him shortly after when Shelton Benjamin got released. And he was like, I don't want Shelton Benjamin to come here. And, not that I don't dislike Shelton Benjamin. It's just that if he is here, he's going to be taking away TV time, from me and other folks. So I wonder if they're somehow going to make that real life they should make it into an angle.
Yeah.
Because the best stories are rooted in just enough truth to make it believable. So they should feud with them. So, maybe they'll get Private Party, the version of Antonio Dawkins and Bianca Belair's husband. I can't even think of the dude's name.
Yeah, I can't either, but yeah. All right, Brent, that was it. I just didn't know if you knew that.
All right, and I found a couple of videos about with Thea Vidal as Shelton Benjamin's mama, but there's supposed to be another one out there to where she is in the office. She's trying to get a match for Shelton Benjamin, and she's in the office with Vince McMahon, and she's bent over. And, Thea Vidal ain't a small woman, we'll just say.
Oh.
So I'm trying to find that one just so that you could.
Okay. All right.
See that. Yeah, but once I find that one, I'll go ahead and post it. But yeah, Thea Vidal was, for about a 6-week period of time, Shelton Benjamin's mama, and he was a mama's boy.
All right.
So, all right. You take it easy.
You too. All right. That was Brent. They do crazy stuff in wrestling. You have to watch it to understand, and y'all not interested in learning enough about it to get it. But I still enjoy it, so I talk about it with other people who enjoy it. What else was I gonna talk about? Oh, I was just saying with regard to the numbers. With regard to the numbers, the 16 million jobs, the 20% increase. It don't matter to me. It don't matter to me. It really don't. One is potentially, he's definitely a threat to democracy. The other one, well, of course, she's never been president. But most people who become president the first time have never been president. So it is one of those things where it's pretty hard to get experience at it without being it. It's pretty difficult. I mean, I guess she's as close. That's not true. Because I would argue, and I'm not there, I don't see the day-to-day goings-on of the running of the country, okay? But I would think the president's chief of staff is probably closer to being the president than the vice president. And when I say closer to being the president, I mean closer to seeing the day-to-day operations of what the president does and how decisions are made and who's making decisions and who's advising and the way the day-to-day of the country is run. Because the vice president is not at the White House or, kicking it with the president every day. So maybe the White House chief of staff or, somebody in that, they would be, somebody who could say, well, while I've never been the president, I know exactly what the president does, and I'm prepared to do that. That person is probably someone who could say that more than the vice president. But Ron says, what's your democracy has already been taken? What's your democracy has already been taken? Maybe he's saying your democracy has already been taken. So why are you afraid of, Donald Trump? Okay. I'm going to believe that's what he meant. Your democracy has been taken. I'm not sure that makes sense. I'm not sure that makes sense. Or at least I don't necessarily buy into that. Andre says that the WCPO weatherman won't be charged. Well, I didn't think he would. He's a well-known guy. He's, fairly well off. And, what'd he do? Beat up a few old people. Well, he didn't. I guess technically he didn't beat them up. His son beat him up. So he gonna be cool. He gonna be straight. Yeah. What if your democracy already been taken? Is probably what he is saying. I think what he's saying is, I'm going to say it kind of the way I think he means it. I say, Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy. And his response is, what? Your democracy has already been taken. That's what I think he meant. Ron says, your free speech has been taken. No, it hasn't. I speak freely at least 3 days a week. They did not make you aware since Joe Biden was diminished. That's 2. So they did not make you aware Joe Biden was diminished. That's 2. Even though nobody wanted Kamala, They forced Kamala on everybody anyway. That's 3. They forced vaccinations upon people. That's 4. They didn't force one on me. They lied about the COVID effects. That's 6 feet distancing. What he did, and I don't think I can take the eating beat. Zuckerberg said they forced him to do all that stuff. Some of that I understand. I think what you're saying is a lot of nonsense. I have free speech. I didn't take the vaccine. Joe Biden is diminished, but not too diminished to run the country. They didn't force Kamala on anyone. They made a decision that was a wise decision, because if they would have made any other decision, I wouldn't be supporting them. They lied about COVID effects. I don't know about that. And I don't know what you're talking about Zuckerberg. Janice says if our free speech had been taken, Trump's mouth would have been shut. Pamela says, actually, Vice President Harris has served as president when Biden had anesthesia for a routine medical procedure. I think in 2021 or 2022. That don't count. It just don't. When I had my tonsils out, if I looked at my son and said, "You the head of the house till I wake up," and they took my tonsils out, and then I wake up, and he like, "I got experience being the head of the house." Like, no, you don't. You didn't do nothing, bro. You was just there. No. He was just symbolically you were, but you didn't do nothing. She didn't sign no executive orders. You know what I'm saying? If she'd have been like, all right, he gonna be under, and they took count backwards from 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, he's out. And then she'd have, give me the pen. I got some executive orders. Let me sign some executive orders. Now the border's closed. Now this, you know, you'd been like, oh, she was the president. And then he'd have woke up like, what did she do? Yeah, no, that don't count. Sorry. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's, you know, maybe somehow semi-officially she was, but not really. Mayo says it's count backwards from 100, not 10. Maybe they're not giving you enough stuff. But for me, it's always count backwards from 10. And I never get to 0. It's never count backwards from 100. How far do you get? They need to up you paying plenty of money. They need to up your dose. Count backwards from 100. It's never from 100. Janice says, kind of like babysitting. Right. I got experience as a parent. Like, what'd you do? I was the babysitter. No. You weren't actually a parent. That don't count as parenting. Ron says, how come they want Kamala Harris to take credit for the good things in the administration when she's not responsible for the bad things in the administration? I believe that is not my ringtone. That's what the computer does. I believe that because they're trying to saddle her with it, the bottom line is she don't get credit for the good. She don't get blamed for the bad, because she really can't do anything to make anything happen. And what she's saying is, which I I keep telling y'all, that is not my ringtone. That is not my ringtone. That's the computer. My phone is here. That wasn't my actual phone ringing. But somehow the computer is tied to my phone. And so when I get a message, it dings here. I never set that up. That's Apple doing that. But what I think it's kind of too late now. But what I think they should have done is said, look, we agree with a number of the policies of the Biden administration, and we'll keep some of them. There are some of those policies that are Biden's policies that we're not 100% on board with. But as the vice president, my job is to support the president. And if that's his policy, I'm going to back his play. But if he's no longer when he's no longer the president and I am, we're going to handle the border maybe a little differently. We're going to handle this maybe a little differently. Those things, but you can't really do that. Because then you're throwing the Biden administration under the bus. You can't be like, I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him. Now, I think you should be able to say that. And I think if I'm the president, I want a vice president to stand up and say, Mr. President, I don't agree with that. I think that is a bad policy. And I wouldn't mind my vice president going out and telling people, no, I didn't agree with this policy. I didn't agree with it. I told him I didn't agree with it. We had a long discussion about it. I told him why I didn't agree with it. He told me why he did agree with it. I see why he feels like it was the best move to make. I understand it. It's not unreasonable. I just didn't agree with it. And a part of the deal that we made when I came on as his vice president is I would always tell him whether I thought he was right or wrong, 100% what I was thinking. And when it all came down, I told him I will always back your play. So I'm in this with him, but some things we're not going to necessarily agree on. And I think that would be a much stronger stance than, they trying to play it both ways. I don't like that. And so she can't stand up and say, I'm not the effing president. That's not my policy. So you can't blame me for that. She can't do that. T. Mikey G says, sounds like AI is all in your business. I'm sure there's something I could do to unlink these two. Because my TV, because I have an Apple TV. So my TV, my phone, the computers. What else do I have around here? That's the iPad. All of my Apple devices kind of it's convenient a lot of times. It's inconvenient when I'm doing this and my phone rings. And so my computer plays this zesty ringtone. That's not convenient because that makes it sound like it's me. And it's not me. Let's see. What else we got going on? Ron says she definitely can't do that considering Joe Biden said he consulting her on every decision. Consulting on every decision, that means nothing. I guess that means something if you want it to mean something. If you want it to mean something. But, Ron, you could ask me, you know what I'm saying, should you smoke weed? And I'm going to be like, Ron, nigga, you shouldn't be smoking weed. Hey, all right, let me go smoke some weed. But then you could tell everybody, well, I consulted with Emanuel. And I told you not to be smoking weed. Did you tell him that? Did you tell him I told you not to smoke weed when you told him I consulted with you? So when you say that, it sounds like, oh, he agreed with everything that happens. No, a consultation is just that. She might agree on some things and she might disagree on other things. She might agree on the outcome, but not necessarily on the journey. Meaning, you know, she might be like, I agree with this policy, but I don't think this is the way we get there. I don't like the way we're implementing this. Ron says, totally different on policy. No, it's not. It's the same thing. Consulting is just that. But he's the president. So again, I'm teaching civics, I feel like. He makes the decisions. He has a whole lot of people that he consults with. Hopefully. A whole lot of people that he consults with on decisions. Hopefully it ain't just like, you know, oh, something going on over there. Well, you know what? Let me think about that for a second. Go do this. Hopefully he's like, all right, let me see. You're an expert in economics. You're an expert in world affairs. You're a military expert. Come on, all y'all expert. Come on. Let's talk about this. Let me consult with y'all about what's going on. Make this decision. How is it going to affect world markets? And how is it going to affect us? If we do this militarily, how will this work out? How many people will we lose? How many people will they lose? How much will this cost? How long will this conflict last? Okay, how do you tell me, you know, and everybody then say, okay, now this is what I think I'm going to do. Based on what everybody said, all of my consultants, based on what everybody said, I think this is the best path forward. How do you feel? Tell me your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And there's a whole lot of stuff going on. And then they say, okay, we've had discussions after discussions. And he says, okay, this is what we're going to do. And then he says, I consulted with my team. That don't mean they all agreed. That just means he was smart enough to ask people what they thought and listen to them. And I think that's what you want in a president, in a governor, in a leader. Somebody who understands they don't know everything. And hold on, I heard this earlier today, but I didn't get a chance to look. Hold on. What is Emanuel grabbing? What do you mean? What am I grabbing? I was reaching out to my fictitious consultants and experts and telling them, you know, you this and you believe that and you believe this and you believe that. I'm pulling them into the room to consult with them. Grabbing them by the tie, saying, get in here. Let's talk. Oh, come on, type. Yeah. The strike is over. I thought I'd heard that. The port workers or the longshoremen. The strike is over. Apparently they got their 62%. And I say good for them. Good for those guys. Some people upset about it. They got too much. That's too much money. That's a lot of money. Look, sometimes you want to see the little man win. Not that he's went like it's not a big come up. Like these CEOs and stuff, they still gonna make their money. The people mad at the longshoremen, they never get mad when CEOs get a raise. Shelly.
Hi. Hold on, let me turn off this police scanner. The kids are getting arrested in Clifton. I'm going to let you in on something, okay?
Oh. Okay.
Somebody asked about the parents and this whole Diddy situation. Here's the deal.
Oh.
Guardianship can only be done through court. Nobody's buying kids on the street, okay? And it's happening in Hamilton County, and they want to grow the program. There's Title IV funding, okay? It's $1 trillion business. These people, okay, through guardianship, child services, foster care, they all have immunity. The social workers have immunity. These people are making $80,000, $90,000 a year. It's all public information. You can look it up. Parents, they can't do anything, right?
Shelly?
In Cleveland,
Shelly?
there's hundreds, there are hundreds of missing children.
Shelly.
Foster children. America
Shelly.
has more missing children than
Shelly?
any other nation.
Shelly.
Yeah.
What is the process of getting turning over guardianship of my child to, say, Diddy?
Well, okay, I'm going to tell you, right?
I'm
It's
asking.
very serious. It's a big deal. And Ohio is ground zero. They're using Title IV funding for the immigration to refugee settlements, okay?
Shelly.
This is how it works.
Shelly.
Social work. I'm telling you, this is serious.
Shelly, it is serious. Look, hold on.
I'm answering the question,
Hold
okay?
on. Shelly.
I'm telling you the process.
Shelly, this
Are
is
you ready?
Shelly, this is not a normal conversation, okay?
Are you ready?
Shelly, can we have a normal conversation?
I want to answer your question.
Hold on,
yes.
Shelly, can we have a normal conversation? I've never had a conversation like this, like, me sitting down with my friend and I say, hey, what's the process of buying a home? And they like, shut up, I'm gonna tell you. And I'm like, okay, but hold on, shut up. I'm gonna tell you. Do you want to know? This is serious. Let me tell you. Hold on, shut up. I don't know.
I'm going to break it down.
It's not normally this difficult, okay?
I'm going to break it down.
Hold on.
Social worker.
Wait. Let me be clear that you're answering this question that I asked, okay? So I live in Ohio, and I know a guy in New York, and I want to send my child to him and give him temporary guardianship or whatever. What is the process I'm not talking about no Haitian immigrants. I'm not talking about all. I know I have a child. There's a guy in New York I want to send my child with and give him guardianship. What's the process to do that?
Okay, here's the process.
All right.
It's happening in Hamilton County. A social worker, the parents aren't the ones doing it. A social worker only needs to have an idea in her head, right?
Shelly, you're not answering my question. You're talking about something different, and I'll let you talk about that.
Sir.
But my question is, there's no social worker. I want my child to go live with this guy in New York, and I want to give him guardianship. No social worker decided anything. I decided that this is what I want to do, and I'm asking you, what is the process?
You have to go through the court. There's a process.
Okay, and so what is that process?
You get the social worker goes to the judge in an ex parte meeting and tells them they have concerns. They need to get the child.
No, there are no concerns. I want my child to go live with this man in New York. There are no concerns. Nobody thinks I'm beating. I just want him. There's no social worker that's got to go to a judge and say they have concerns. In my case, how do I get this done?
ICPC. You have to go through juvenile court. You have to go through the process. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But you're trying to tell me about a contentious process. My process is not contentious. I want my child to go live with this guy in New York.
You have to go through the court.
Okay, and what do I do? Who do I go to in the courts?
Jobs and Family Services, number 1. It's called ICPC.
All right.
Interstate Compact.
Okay. So I go to them and I say,
I'm not capable of taking care of my child. You don't just say I want to sell my kid.
No. I am capable. None of these parents said they weren't capable. They wanted their child to go live with this guy for this opportunity. So they didn't go and say, I'm not capable. That's not been anybody's claim. When Usher's parents sent him to live with Diddy, they didn't say, we're not capable of taking care of him. They said, this is a great opportunity and we want you to have guardianship. That's what I'm asking you. There doesn't have to be a he's not capable, she's not capable issue. I'm asking you as the expert.
That's still the argument they will use. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's still the argument that will be used. The fact that a parent even says that is enough for them to make it happen. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And there are two situations here. There's sometimes the parents want it to happen, but oftentimes the parents do not want it to happen.
Let's talk about when the parents want it to happen.
It's still the same process.
Right.
Okay?
So let's talk about that. You keep saying you have to go and say you don't want the child and all that stuff.
Make you realize and accept it cannot happen without court involvement. That's why it's always mentioned guardianship. Guardianship can only happen through probate court and juvenile court. That's the only possible way it can happen.
Let me do this this way. Is it possible, Shelly? Hold on.
You're being mean.
Shelly, is it possible that I could, let's make it simple. I have a sister that lives in Alabama, and I want my child to go live with my sister. So I go to the court, me and my sister go to the court, and I say, I want to give her guardianship of my child for the next year. She's going to live there for the next year. Is that possible to do?
Only through family court. Right, it's still going to involve.
Right, that's what I said. I went to the court. Is that possible?
That's what I'm answering the question. Right, it cannot happen without the court.
I said I went to the court.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm asking you, is that possible?
Yes, and they're still going to assign a social worker. The court is going to assign a social worker.
Okay.
Because it's interstate compact.
Okay.
It has to go through the courts here and the courts there. It's still going to be social workers. The social workers have immunity, but what you're not realizing is these cases are sealed, right? They're sealed.
Okay. Probably juveniles,
so when people say that where are the parents, but there's two different scenarios. You're talking about when the parents want it to happen.
Right.
Do you not want to acknowledge when the parents don't want it to happen?
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people sending their children with Diddy with the promise of a contract. So that's not when the parents don't want it to happen.
Hundreds of people were doing it. You think all the situations were the same? Every child, the parents wanted it to happen?
I think, yes. In every one of those cases, the parent wanted their child to go live with Diddy. Yes.
They didn't all go live with him. That's the thing. They weren't all living with him. What about the ones that weren't living with him?
Who are you talking about?
You didn't see the video where they said, where it was Diddy's voice, and he said, my kids are downstairs. Here comes social services. Y'all do what you need to do. Still involves social services. That's what you're not accepting.
No, I'm not accepting that. What I'm asking, or what I was asking, because I already know the answer. But what I was asking, because you're saying, like, these parents have to be somehow deemed unfit, and that's just not true. So that's why I'm saying the question.
Every scenario is the same.
But the question that was on the table is for these parents who sent their children to live with that man, and allegedly he did some bad stuff to them, should those parents be held responsible? That was the question that you said you were calling in to answer.
Okay, right. So you're saying that the parents are responsible for somebody else's behavior?
I'm saying
they will be charged. Yes, they are being charged. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yes.
No, they're not.
How do you know this? How do you know?
Well, you might have a point there.
The cases are sealed.
We have not seen. We have. Hold on.
No. I'm trying to tell you, E-Man. Listen, the reason that these cases are able to happen right now is because people went upon themselves to get the documents, which the courts don't want to release. Okay, Zoom court did these people in, number one. The only reason that there is a lawsuit, is because people went against the system and recorded the information, recorded the conversations, kept the documentation that's quote unquote sealed. Right, the public can't do it for you.
What are you?
They brought it to people's attention.
Public
Here's an
can do it
example.
for
I
you.
want to get. Okay, you know what? I'm trying to give you an example real quick. So
But you're just creating an example out of thin air. I'm
not.
Hold on. You said you were calling in to answer the question that I was at.
You said, where's the parents?
Wait.
Why are the parents being charged?
Hold on, Shelly. Let me say, this is what it feels like you're doing. You have a gripe with, Department of Child and Protective Services and all that kind of stuff. And it feels like you want to get that gripe in. And I'll let you get that gripe. Hold on. I will let you get that gripe in. I'm comfortable with that whole conversation happening. But that wasn't the question that I was asking. And you said you called in to answer the question that I was asking. You clearly didn't call in to do that. Like, you don't even really understand the situation that happened.
Here's how this situation has come to fruition, because the parents only have, and the children also, only have the evidence because there was a case of the parents being charged. If the parents were never charged, this would have never happened because there wouldn't be a paper trail. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Even though it doesn't matter, even if the parents were unfit and the parents are at fault for sending them, it does not give Diddy an out.
No one is trying to give Diddy an out. I said clearly, Diddy, if he did these things, he should be charged. I couldn't even think of a word strong enough to describe what I don't think monster is strong enough. Evil, I don't think is strong enough. So no one's saying Diddy should be off the hook. My question was for these parents who voluntarily sent their children years ago to live with Diddy, and allegedly these children were sexually molested, assaulted, or however you want to categorize it. I think those parents should be held accountable for sending their minor children to live with a grown man on the promise of a potential record deal.
Okay, so what about the ones that weren't? That's the thing. That's the only. I'm trying to tell you.
The ones that weren't what?
The only way that those cases were even brought, exist is because there is a paper trail. Yes, if the parents were irresponsible.
No. Look. If you were 15, Shelly, and you went to live with someone, and they sexually assaulted you, and 5, 6, 7 years later, that person got in trouble, you could file, and especially with what's going on now, you could file a lawsuit against Diddy. Your parents didn't even need to know. You could file a lawsuit against Diddy, and no paperwork had to. You just say, this is what this man did to me. I lived with him. He sexually assaulted me, or had me, gang sexually assaulted. I'm not sure what scenario you're talking about.
Okay, because it's sealed. These people have immunity. Okay, if the guardianships have. Okay, can I give you an example that I think will help you understand?
Does this example involve people voluntarily giving their children to someone else?
Okay, yes.
Okay,
Are you ready?
Yeah.
The family in Claremont County, the special needs kids, right?
Okay.
This isn't like, people aren't just talking about this public because people come back with clapbacks. That's the family in Claremont County where the 5 special needs children were adopted by that couple where they were gay, right? And they were treated like worse than prisoner of wars. Okay.
It's a horrible situation, but it is a totally different example. But go ahead.
If the parents had special needs children they could not take care of, so they asked
Again, that's
help.
a totally different example, but go ahead.
You know what? It's not, okay? Because
it is. It very much is.
If the parents voluntarily give their children to anybody, Diddy or not, I'm trying to give you a serious issue, okay? Because
Exactly. You're trying to talk about a serious issue, so stop tying yours into Diddy. You're not giving me an example of Diddy. You're giving me just a bad example of some bad parents who did some bad stuff. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so that was able to get away. Those parents got away with that. The adoptive foster parents got away with that for years. You know why? Because they have immunity. The Claremont County Sheriff, right, had their parents' phone unlocked by the Department of Homeland Security. We all know they can do that locally. That's the only way that these cases get brought, right? Because they have immunity. That's what I'm trying to. You know what? I don't think you're going to accept the reality of it. This is being talked about in parent groups all over the place for years. Okay, they sent that phone to Homeland Security so that they would pay attention to the case, right? Because if you can't report the government to the government, it's guardianship. Whether it's a family member, whether it's Diddy, whether it's a foster parent, it's all guardianship. Right? They all have immunity. That's why they get guardianship.
Who do you believe has immunity?
You can look it up in the law.
Oh, I'm asking you. Who do you believe has immunity?
People that go through the probate court with children, whether it's foster care, interstate compact, or whatever.
Wait, so you believe foster parent, since this is what we're talking about. You believe a foster...
You want me to cite the revised the code for you?
Wait,
I can give you a revised code.
Hold on, let me get the question out. And then if you want to answer it with the revised code, that's fine. So you believe a foster parent who sexually assaults their foster child has immunity?
Okay. If they cannot get charged unless it comes... Unless the... it's not going to get acknowledged, right? It has to get acknowledged. So if a child goes missing, right, like Diddy's white adopted daughter, right, because he's a guardian, it doesn't go through the same missing person's process as if it's the parent. So if you have guardianship of a child that's not yours and you report them missing, not going to go through the same process as if you're a parent.
Shelly.
Okay.
So do you believe that a foster parent who sexually assaults their child has immunity?
Okay. Well, why did it take years? Yes, because you're reporting it to the. It's different than it's not. You're asking it in a way. Okay. I'm looking at the code for you. Foster care immunity, right? It's protected, right? It's sealed information. You can't get it to the police. You can't get it to the feds because it's protected through the guardianship process, which is through family court. So unless you are able to get the information, first of all, and you have the paper trail, right? The Claremont County family went to Cincinnati Children's, right? For years with bruises and broken bones and all kinds of stuff. So if a mandatory reporter reported it, they're going to report it to JFS, who controls the adoption parents. That's the thing. Like these children that are missing, right, the children that Diddy got a hold of, the children that Diddy was guardianship of, it's all in a protected, it's a racket. Everyone involved is protected. Yes.
It's not true.
You know what?
It's not true. What you're saying is not true in this situation. It's just not true. I don't think it's true in many situations. If a foster parent sexually assaults a foster child and that is reported, charges get filed.
They're going to report it to the, listen.
Report it to the police. If the police find out that John sexually assaulted little Mary, who is his foster child, John will get charged.
How are the police going to find out?
Maybe John's wife tells on him, or maybe little Mary tells her teacher that John is touching her.
Okay, listen. A public children's services agency, private child placing agency, or private non-custodial agency that serves as the child custodian or as the supervising agency for the resource caregiver shall be immune from liability in a civil action.
Right, you're talking about the agency. I'm talking about the person who did the sexual assault.
Listen, immune from civil action to recover damages for injury, death, or loss to person or property that result from a resource caregiver or agency. Division C1
again,
section
you're again,
5103.
you're talking about the agencies who are involved in your case, an
No,
adoption
it says-
or whatever.
It says
I'm
that
I'm
care-
talking
it's the
about
caregiver,
I'm
the
talking
caregiver.
about the Shelley. Foster parents do not have immunity to
Yes, they do.
sexually
They are the
assault
resource
their foster
caregiver.
children. They don't. That's
Yes,
just
right
not
here.
true. You are misunderstanding that. That is not true. Foster parents do not have immunity to
Qualified immunity
sexually
of foster
assault
caregiver.
their foster children. That is
one-
not true. It's
Section
not true.
513.162. Qualified
It's
immunity of
not
foster caregiver.
true. It's
Foster
foolish.
caregiver,
It's
immune from
silly.
liability.
It's not true. You're not understanding what you're reading. It's
Ohio-
not true. Now,
Ohio five-
look. Now,
Okay.
here's what I'll tell you. Because it sounds reasonable to me. A child goes into foster care, and the agency, let's see, JFS. I don't know if they deal with foster care or not, but let's say JFS, right? And so JFS takes over, they remove that child from the home. And then they have a worker, a social worker, who manages that case. And then they place that child with a family that they think is a good family. Well, turns out someone in that family is not well, and they sexually assault that child. That social worker, as the agency caregiver or whatever, and JFS have immunity. They're not responsible for the sexual assault, but the foster parent who did the sexual assault, they don't have immunity. It's just not true or reasonable or sane to believe
It's
that
not
to
sane,
be the
and
case.
It's not reasonable. That's why it's such a big deal, because it's happening. And it's not reasonable, and it's not sane, and it's hard it doesn't make sense.
Right, it's not sane to
doesn't
believe
make
that
sense.
is the case. That's not true.
It is. And
It's not
why don't
true.
we see cases and try to look up the cases? If a child reports that if Diddy has custody, and that child reports that Diddy did this to me and Diddy did that, right? Who are they going to report to? The same person that gave that child to Diddy.
And that person will report it to the police or some investigating agency.
No, because
and then
report it-
if those charges are substantiated, or the allegations are substantiated, a case will be filed and there will be criminal charges brought.
If the child reports it to the police are going to report it to JFS. That's why that sheriff in Claremont County gave the phone of the foster parents to Homeland Security instead of the local police, because the social workers have more immunity than police.
We're not talking about whether social workers have immunity.
If the child reports to the police
All
that
right,
their
Shelley.
foster parent did something, the police are going to report it to
Shelley.
the foster agency.
Shelley,
See what I'm saying?
Shelley.
It's always, who
Shelley.
are the police going to report it to?
The police are going to refer the case probably to the district attorney.
Right, which is the same person, right, locally here, which is the same person who oversees placing that child with the foster parent.
The district attorney does not oversee placing a child in foster care.
Yes, they do. Melissa Powers, right?
Melissa Powers, hold on. Maybe I don't understand. Melissa Powers places children in foster care.
Right. There's different courts. That's
Okay.
the thing. Right. And then, the Attorney General.
I was not aware.
This is from the bottom to the top. Okay. This is Kids for Cash is a big business.
I think Melissa Powers is the attorney for the county, but I very seriously doubt if Melissa Powers is placing any children in, with foster families.
Yes, she is. So was Joe Dieters. Look up Seifert versus Cincinnati, Seifert versus Hamilton County. That's the case where
I'll check it out. You might be right on that. I might be wrong. Melissa Powers might, be placing children in foster
Joe
care.
Dieters took a child away from a family because the family didn't support the child wanting to be trans. The child was it's all online. This is case law.
Again,
Okay, right here
I
in
don't
Hamilton
doubt
County.
that it's case law. I just don't think that you understand 100% what you're reading, because you believe that foster parents who sexually assault their foster children have immunity, and that's just not true.
It's okay. You can. How are you going to get the information out to who? You can't even get things on their record. That's the issue. Okay. Yes, it is Joe Dieters and Melissa Powers, right? Yes, the case locally in Hamilton County. This is all new case law. I mean, it's got to be created. This is like new stuff because there's so much money tied to it. It's $1 trillion business. It's county.
Look,
it's
I'm not saying that the system is perfect, great, or even good. I'm not saying that. I'm sure there are many issues, but I can almost guarantee you that there is no provision in the law that says what foster parents who want to sexually assault their foster children have immunity. That's just not true.
Okay, listen to this. Ready? You ready? I'm going to blow your mind. Okay, so.
You're not, because you've lost all credibility.
They say the Wexner Center, okay? You know, Jeffrey Epstein was first caught in New Albany, Ohio at Les Wexner's house. Les Wexner is the guy who owns Ohio State, right? Him and his wife donated $80 million to Nationwide Children's for a child abuse prevention program, foster care, and refugee settlement, right? So the Wexner Center for, prevention, abuse, and blah, blah, blah is in 40 counties, including Hamilton County, right? It's all public. So Wexner is friends with DeWine, okay? So this is Title IV funding. This is big money. This is statewide. DeWine has schools, right, in Haiti. DeWine brought them people here with refugee settlement money, which is connected to Title IV funding, which is connected to foster care. There are foster care clinics. Cincinnati Children's has the Myerson Clinic.
Shelly.
Yeah.
You say stuff that make you automatically lose credibility. Maybe what you should do. Shelly, maybe what you should do, if you really want to be an advocate for helping the system be better, and I'm
an advocate for money. This is our taxes being spent on this.
Shelly, if you want to be an advocate for making the system better, maybe you should learn a little bit more on or just don't talk about the things that you don't understand. Foster parents don't have immunity for sexually assaulting foster children. And what did you say, Wexler? What's his first name?
Well, there's Abigail Wexner. Don't you remember seeing the sign on the side of 75?
They don't own Ohio State.
Okay, well, when they donate millions and millions of dollars.
Okay. Right? Again, you lose credit. Your argument might be a great argument, and your cause is probably a great cause. But you do so much damage by the misinformation or lack of understanding the information that you're giving that it's easy to dismiss you as some sort of a kook or something like that, because you say things like this person owns Ohio State and foster parents get immunity for sexually assaulting their foster children. And that's just not true. It's just not true.
Okay. I mean, it's all, you can look it up. I mean, it's all documented. I mean.
And I believe it. And you just don't understand what you're reading.
Did you see the Take Care of Maya?
No.
Medical kidnapping?
No.
When Les Wexner is donating to Ohio State's, medical program, where doctors and stuff graduate, right? And he's donating to Nationwide Children's and Cincinnati Children's. Okay, that's healthcare. Take Care of Maya. These hospitals are contracting with the county agencies.
Okay.
And it's funded by the Wexners, who in Ohio anyway, who are involved with DeWine, who makes the policies and the laws. Why is DeWine always on TV talking about foster care, foster care?
He's the governor.
Years.
He's the governor.
Why is he so invested in foster care? Do we don't have other issues in Ohio?
Maybe he cares about children.
Like the children in Haiti? He has 35 schools in Haiti, and he's running Ohio? Why would we have a governor that has an entire school district in another country?
So what?
Weird?
So what?
Okay, so why does Ohio have more immigration than any other state in
What
America?
does that have to do with anything?
Where's the money come from? Why is Ohio fourth with child trafficking?
Oh, my goodness. All right, Shelly.
Why is there thousands of children missing from Ohio?
Hey, Shelly.
All right.
I want you to have a wonderful weekend, okay?
All right, it's all online. Look it up. Okay?
Are you going to have a wonderful weekend?
Perhaps I'm going to run barefoot in my yard, right?
That sounds like a great weekend for you.
I know. Okay, well, this is serious, and this is big, and it's local.
And you should probably learn more about it before you go advocating using nonsense. Just learn a little more about it.
I was like, why? 10 years ago, I was like, why is there this? What is this billboard on the highway talking about?
Somehow, didn't I tell y'all at the beginning of this call that somehow it was going to come back to Haitian immigrants? Then remember when I was asking the first question, I was like, and I'm not talking about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, and what or not they're doing to the school system and all of that kind of stuff. And I told y'all that somehow it was going to come back to Haitian immigrants. I knew it, y'all. I knew it.
And children. It's slave labor. This is human trafficking. This isn't something new.
I knew it was going to come back to Haitian immigrants.
10 years ago, I saw a billboard on the side of the highway that said Ohio is fourth in child trafficking. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense because we're not a border state. So I started looking into it long ago. My hill to die on in my wheelhouse is tracking down federal money, county money, state money, because it's taxes. Right? It's our property taxes. It's our rent. It's children. That's what it is. It's all about.
But Shelly, here's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
You might be trying to do the honorable thing, but there's something about the conclusions that a person jumps to based on a tiny bit of information. Like, and I don't know if it's true, but you say, okay, Dwayne is the governor here, but he owns some schools in Haiti. Don't you think that's weird? What does that have to do with the conclusion that you're jumping to? Is if DeWine is the governor in Ohio and he owns schools in Haiti, that's proof that he's trafficking Haitian children. That's not a fact, but you're presenting it as if it's factual.
Look up Title IV funding.
Oh, my God.
That's why it's connected. Right. The immigration and Title IV funding is connected. Why? That's exactly what's weird about it.
You really don't understand what you're doing is makes you sound kooky.
Here's what's weird. That's exactly what they want. Here's what's weird about it. Why
you're
would
giving it to
they
them.
put in the policy for Ohio, right? Why would they put together child abuse and foster care and mental health and addiction and refugee settlement? That's weird, right? Why would they throw that in there? That is exactly what's weird about it, because they know it won't make sense, and because people aren't going to do the research because they tie it together. Right?
You're tying things together that aren't necessarily tied together. You're you're making some huge leaps to get to wherever it is you are.
Nationwide Children's. Her little program is only for foster care and refugee settlement, right? Because they're right.
Okay, Shelly.
Policy.
Shelly. One last opportunity. You somehow have proof that the governor, DeWine, is trafficking Haitian children. What is your proof?
Okay. Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm giving you the proof. If you look it up, he is using Title IV federal funds, right?
I'm not agreeing to that. I'm not agreeing to anything you said. You haven't said anything to ask me right yet.
Because DeWine and Wexner work together.
That's your proof. DeWine and Wexner work together, therefore he's trafficking Haitian children.
Why is DeWine even DeWine has a school in Haiti. Who else has a school in Haiti besides what, the Clintons?
Again, so wait a minute. So here's your proof. DeWine works with Wexler and he has a school in Haiti. That's proof that he's trafficking Haitian children.
Well, immigrants, period, because there's money attached to it. That's
Okay,
the whole point.
wait a minute, wait. Just so, because I'm asking a simple question. So your proof is because DeWine works with Wexler and has a school in Haiti, that is proof that he traffics children.
Yes, because it's connected. Title IV funding is connected with foster care and refugee settlement, period. Why are they
And you
connected?
really don't understand how crazy that is.
Because it's absolutely crazy. The whole thing with Diddy
Right.
is crazy. The whole thing with Epstein is crazy. It's all crazy.
And the whole
But it
thing
involves
with
children.
Shelly
It
is
involves our
crazy.
taxes.
Shelly, enjoy your weekend.
You too.
All right. Ooh. I'm not even saying her heart ain't in the right place. Okay, in some instances, her heart ain't in the right place. There's clearly some level of racism there. But let's put that aside. I'm not even saying, well, of course, I'm not accusing DeWine of trafficking anybody. She is. I'm not, oh my goodness, here's Twin. He's got to defend Shelly. She fools him every time. Twin,
What's up, big man?
how you doing?
What's up?
What's on your mind?
Start believing people.
What?
Start believing people.
What should I believe?
That foster care people get immunity.
Just so I'm clear, you want me to believe that there's a law that says that foster parents.
You know damn well I don't believe in that, man. I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking.
I don't know why she even.
She
Shelly,
fooled you
come
last
on,
time.
man.
I thought maybe she fooled you again.
No, this one she can't fool me out.
Okay,
Ain't no
okay.
way in hell you get immunity for Brent Touch and Little Ricky Jr. Ain't no way you gonna get immunity for that. You going to jail.
Okay.
These foster, if she been looking it up or whatever, seeing what happened across the board in America, these foster people treating these little kids wrong, they been getting charged left and right. These people ain't playing about with that foster care thing. Now, on the other hand, with DeWine, with them Haitians and all that, I believe they trafficking them little kids, man. They been doing it. Yeah, I believe in that. But other than that, immunity for foster care people, hell no. I don't believe that. Now, she made that up now. I can't ride with you on this one, Shelly, but hey, that's crazy. I ain't never heard nothing like this. Show me.
Why would you believe? And I'm not making the accusation, and I don't even understand the tie-in. Why would you wait? Let me get the question out.
Black sex is the good sex, and that white man needs that black sex to keep him going, man. That's what it is. If you really look at it and go back for the past, Epstein, why you think he was? It was a lot of people.